Rapulani hates it when people touch her hair. Rapulani's hair had a mind of its own. I've got to run away. Oh no! I miss my real mom. Please don't cut my hair. Please don't cut my hair. Rapulani, where are you?
Waar is jy?
Order your copy of Rapulani on Takealot and stream the animated book on Kweli TV. Rapulani hates it when people touch her hair.
Yes. Yeah, hello everyone. Nice to have you back here to another session of the Evolve Africa Challenge. Really excited to be speaking with you today. I don't know if it's morning, afternoon, evening, or I don't know what time it is from where you're joining us, but I do hope you are enjoying the session so far, and I can assure you, you are going to love this. If you watched the trailer that I just showed right now, I'm sure you're already excited. The first time I got to hear about Rapulani, I was wowed. I think this was early 2021, if I'm not wrong. I came across this project, and there was just so much that was right about this project. And that's why we are honored to be having the creator of this project on our program today, where she's going to be talking to us about the psychological importance of representation, why she came up with this project that talks about the African air, which when you look at global media, there's not a lot of concentration or spotlight on. And yet it's something really dynamic. It's something unique. It's something, especially if you're African, you know why we need to talk about this, because it's different. So welcome on stage, Yolanda.
Thank you, Oscar. What a beautiful, beautiful welcome. And thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. Yeah. So let's meet you, please.
Okay. So, briefly, I'm a storyteller, and I have been telling stories for, I think, over maybe 14 years or so. And I actually stumbled into animation. And being a storyteller, I sometimes tell stories through stage, plays, film, documentary. And I just had this one idea that I felt like it needed to be told through animation. This girl with this magical hair. And that's how I kind of stumbled into animation. And animation has turned into really being in the animation industry, and that evolved into gaming as well. And it's been such an interesting ride. And I can even remember the pivotal moment was going to Annecy and seeing how big indeed the gaming and animation industries are. And not a lot of people who, are of a darker shade or from the continent were at these festivals and are creating this content. So I'm like, then we're consuming it. So I was like, it's such a missed opportunity. And so I just leaned in and been educating myself. I'm still educating myself, and here we are, baby steps.
No, trust me, you've gone way beyond baby steps. This is amazing. This project is really wonderful.
Well, I feel like it's still baby steps, because it's like, Michael, I'm calling you Oscar now. Oscar's the one that's sticking to me. But you have a vision for where the end, kind of the end that you want to see, And there are all of these things that you need to go through before you get to that end, I think. So in my mind, I'm still at the baby steps. Then I want to kind of be adult walking. Then I want to run a little bit. Then I want to fly, So I'm kind of going baby steps into, being able to walk properly. So it'll get there, though. It'll get there. I think just being at that festival again at Annecy showed me how big what flying looks like. Let me put it that way. It showed me what flying looks like, and it showed me what running looks like. So I know I'm very proud of my baby steps, but I know where I am, But I'm like, just get started. We'll get there. At least I passed calling, which is great. Now it's just baby steps.
Yeah, super. I'm back, right? Can you hear me? I froze for a bit.
Yes, you did. A little bit. Like a millisecond.
Yeah, so I say not baby step because yeah, when I look at the Alchemist company and I look at the Rapulani project, you're one of the few studios across Africa that has done something a lot of people miss out on. So when I speak about the business of creativity and all, I always give example to like Disney and the likes. We talk about the fact that when you're in this space, one key thing you need to build is your IP.
Yeah.
And you have that.
Yeah.
And then another thing is the transmedia element, which is,
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to explore that. There's look at the steps from animation to games to comic. Boom, like there is an actual thriving ecosystem. And I know the vision is still much more, but
Yeah.
trust me, you have done something a lot of people struggle with, and you found your audience. There is a voice that connects with me, at least. I mean, I have eggs.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, this is really, really exciting. Yeah, so trust me, I really love this project.
Oh, well, thank you for that. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. No, I really do. I really, really do. I think I just wanted to comment on what you just said now. So me even building it the way that it's been built really came, I don't know if there's one of your questions later, but I thought putting it now makes sense. But it really came about because of so many roadblocks that I came across. You know, like as I said, I've got this vision, but I keep trying to go to people to help me over here for help and such, but there were just so many roadblocks, and also so many roadblocks because I didn't really know what I was doing, and so I needed to figure out myself. And so even creating like, okay, well, I don't have all the money for an animation, but I can do a little book, you know. Okay, cool, let's open the book. Okay, I still want people or things to move, and I don't really have like the full thing. I want to also figure out what the whole pipeline of animation looks like. So let's make the things move a little bit. So let me do like a digital book. Okay, cool. I can, you know, find money for that. And then I'm like, but still, I want to give this girl a personality over and above the book. I want her to have a voice to speak. Still can't afford all the millions, you know, for animation. Now, like, no one's giving that out. So what can I do? I'm like, okay, cool. Let's try a game. You know, like, so all of it was really just steps in me trying to find my way around the roadblocks, really, and it's been really great. And also, you know what, Michael, I've come across so many talented storytellers, creators, writers, animators who go and work for the big companies. You know, the ones that we all wanna, you know, have. We want to be on this channel or this. We want to have this brands associated with us. But all of them talk about how those big companies come and they own everything. Like I'm like, so it's not like you get royalties even or anything like, but they come and they own everything. So I think there was a part of me that felt like the story is so important to me personally because I wrote it from a very personal point, but also I felt like it was important for the audience that I'm trying to reach, and I didn't want it to be diluted in some way or for someone, you know, me to have control over it, and I don't have a voice to kind of contribute meaningfully. And so I was like, okay, how can I get around this? And I know I appreciate that the time might come where I too will have to be like, okay, how much money are you giving me? Okay, then you want everything. You know what I mean? Such is the world, right? You know, there's a moment that can that can happen, especially if I want the project to have some sort of reach. You know what I mean? Instead of me just doing this by myself, baby steps, you know, with my small budget, where I wanted to. So I appreciate that moment will come. So I'm not saying it is what it is. It's a choice you make. It's a strategic choice that you make. But I'm going in there trying to be aware of what things look like and what I'm trying to do. And I think, I think that's why I am. I'm also just looking at the word psychology just in the title of the chat, you know. And I think these are all things that we as content creators, as media makers, need to be aware of. You know, there are moments where there are trade-offs, but it's also like, what are you trying to say? How important is it? Is it something that you can just give away for someone else to run with? Or is it something that you really want to be involved in because what you're trying to do or say is meaningful to you? Those are actually the conversations I'm having with a lot of people right now.
Yeah. And that's really, really good. Seriously, to be very candid, that's really good. So let's move a little bit forward. When you look at the kids are talking. Yeah, So when you look
That's
at
our audience. That's our audience, Michael. That's our audience.
yeah,
Oh.
indeed, that's our audience. Yeah. So when you look at black hair, there's been a lot of discourse around this globally. I know in the anime community, in the video games community, there was a movement. I think last year, last 2 years as well, where people were talking about the way black hair is actually drawn in comics and all, and it's really terrible. The references they pulled out, I was like, it's really bad. And there was a
Yeah.
whole lot of projects that came up regarding this. I know there was even the Afro Air Library, which I think it's up right now, where
Yeah.
3D artists across Africa, and some from Africa, some in the diaspora, came together and started creating hair models of black people, different hairstyles, so that if
Wow.
these other guys are building games or so, if you can't do
Yeah.
it, you don't know it, no problem. Now you have the model to make use
Yeah.
of that thing. So
Yeah.
I would love to know what drove you to that concept. Why was it important for you to create the character here and the air?
So I come from a background of live action. So work in TV series and films and such. And I made a film called Hair That Moves, and it's about this young girl who sees her favorite pop star and just idolizes her, and she wants to get her short little afro to move like her favorite pop star's hair. With those videos, the hair is moving slowly and whatnot, and she's like, oh my word, all the beautiful people have hair that moves. I need hair that moves. And so with the traveling, with the film, you go to different festivals and talks and things like that. I just came across quite like a lot of women, people actually, even some men who had hair stories where there was such a negative relationship with your hair, and feeling like your hair is like a drag. Your hair needs so many hours to take care of it. Your hair, like just all of the words that were coming out of people's mouths were very negative and very down. And I think after a while, I was like, no, man, like, does everyone really think their hair is this thing that's a problem? Like, everyone? Like, everyone? And so creating Rapulani, I just wanted to go against that. I wanted to create a character who absolutely is in love with her hair. She's in love with her skin. She thinks she's the most like amazing person, ever. And she's dealing with other things. She's dealing with other emotional things as kids do, figuring out how to deal with sad emotions or confusing emotions and things like that. So she's dealing with other things other than what do I look like and what do people think about what I look like. So really, Rapulani was just my pushback from just meeting so many people who had so many issues about what they look like, and just embracing what they look like, and yeah, just not being defensive about it, but owning it and proudly so. And this is literally not just in Africa, also just in the US. And I mean, that film that I mentioned now, even in Brazil, had a bit of an audience. And again, they watching some of the films coming out of there, they also have some hair politics. And yeah, I just literally, I was like, no, man, I need to create something. And for the kids, so that kids grow up looking and feeling like, oh my word, I'm enough, I'm amazing. Because they learn from us, they learn from their mothers, their aunties, the adults that they see, and even again what they see, the things that we're making, what they see on screen. So it really was a pushback against that. And just with your earlier comments about how just there was no library, for kind of like Afro hair or black hair. I remember animators that I was kind of starting off with, we're all creating our own shows and such. One worked in motion graphics, and he was kind of creating this animated show through motion graphics and then animating it, and he said his system, his actual kind of program software that he was using would actually crash whenever he tried to do an African hairstyle. It just like the computer was not built to do the lines or the curls. He was like, it kept crashing. He's like, it literally doesn't know what to do. It confuses the system. And I thought that was so funny. And he's like, so it's not even the system, the software is not built with this inclusivity and such. Of course, things are changing now, where we have a lot more coders of color who understand, the intricacies of what we're trying to do, so fortunately, that's moved on, and I've seen some amazing black hair, even on Kizozo Moto. I mean, like, I'm like, every time I see the hair done like really nicely right, I'm just like, yes, because you want the texture, man. It's got the texture, it's got the thing. Even with Rapulani, and I remember when the artist kind of drew the, figuring out the hair shape, but I was like, it needs something. It needs that kind of half woolly. You don't know what it is, but it's light, but it's a cloud. It needs, give it some texture. And so if you go a little bit like, you zoom in, you can see a little bit of that texture around her silhouette. It's important, man. It also just makes whoever's looking at it just connect with it more, and yeah, and I think it also, what's the word? It affirms it. It affirms that this is what the hair looks like, and it's okay, and it is amazing, actually.
Yes, it is amazing. Let's have a look at the trailer. I have like 3 videos on Rapulani, so I'm a little bit upset. So let's have a look at what it looks like. Yes, this is for the game, so let me play that.
Rapulani hates it when people touch her hair.
Yes, that was like one of the early trailers of our gaming prototype. So yeah.
Yes, I have another one I'll show later, I think towards the end. But yeah, I wanted people to see what the gameplay looks like and all. So yeah, that's another thing you did, I know what it's like to have a vision and try to bring it to the fore. And most times I always find myself trying to do everything myself because of course, low budget. But then you focus on your specialty, your strength, and you've been able through that to attract people that know how to create the animation, that know how to create the comic book, that know how to build the game. Please walk us through that. And I think more creators, myself included, need to understand how you were able to pull those people in.
Yeah. So, Michael, I feel like we work in silos a lot as creatives because, of course, everyone has their own ideas, and you know what I mean. It's so specific, and I felt like I don't know. I felt like I want to start building big things, and I think with big things you need teams, and you need teams that are excellent, or teams that are driven, and teams that have that ownership. And I felt, of course, I mean, I'm not an illustrator. Yeah, sure, I did art at school and I can draw, but I'm not an illustrator. I'm not an animator, So, and I am learning to also, indeed, exactly what you said, play to my strengths. And I'm a really, strong storyteller. I can write. Really, I'm a producer. I can lead also, and I can, get people to collaborate and such. And I really thoroughly believe, indeed, collaboration is the future. It's how the continent as a whole, not just our separate countries that we find ourselves in, but the continent as a whole really is going to continue to build on itself. It's going to continue to develop. It's going to continue to emerge and really be, hopefully one day, the dream, one of the leading markets in the whole entire world. Why not, But it's going to have to be through collaboration. And so I literally figuring out what this whole pipeline looks like with animation. I was like, okay, what do I need? What does it look like? Oh, you need some concept art. And the concept art is just as important as a story. I was like, oh, that's interesting. So people look at the story, yeah, but they want to look at the art as well. And in the beginning, I got the art done via Fiverr. You pay someone $5-10. Okay, just do something for me. They don't mind because they, do this every day, all day. Then you get something. And I kind of half presented that at NSC, and I was doing the graphics myself. And I had someone say to me, you're very lucky that not a lot of people attended your pitch or presentation because it was advertised, it was like proper, the whole room and everything. And she said it's because, the quality wasn't quite there. People are going to look at you. You're a woman of color. It's your first project in here. It's going to look like you're just taking chances. You don't know what you're doing. And it's almost like everything, it's the whole place is already such like this one color. You're just playing into whatever stereotype or whatever notion that they might have in their mind about, the kind of level or where you come in at. And she was like, you need to just step it up, level it up, and really get the best people you possibly can involved. And to do that, you need money. And I was like, okay, so this means I can't just keep bootstrapping like I was. And from then on, I was like, okay, any pitching thing I could possibly get into, I will. And whatever money I win, I spread it out. And fortunately, the project has been doing so well that a lot of the pitching competitions I've been entering it into, it's done well. We've won some money. That's how I did the concept art. Even with the game, we won some of that initial money. That's how we did our prototype. That's how we could finish and polish the art. I'm sure you'll see with the next video, it looks better. The backgrounds look better. The graphics, the UI looks better. Like, you know what I mean? Everything looks a little bit better. We're getting there. And even my first set of illustrations had an artist, one who works with one of those big projects, come and polish it. Still he's from the continent. He's from South Africa, but he came, he polished it so that it has that look, and it's, I just needed to just pitch and get that money to really get it to the level that needed to get to. I hope I'm answering a question. I feel like I might have missed something. Did I answer your question? I feel like I haven't gotten to it yet.
No, you did. You answered it perfectly, actually. You answered it. Yeah.
I was like, did I? Because I feel like I can. The whole project is a story. You know what I mean? It's a story. So I'm just trying to tell the story, but it's like bits and bobs. So I'm like, okay, don't go for an tangent. Keep it here.
Yeah. If you're watching us and you're wondering, you can obviously check the project out yourself. This is the website, and it's lovely. So we're not just looking at the game. There are, as you can see, the storybooks. There's a bag. Oh my goodness. I think if I come down to South Africa, there's no way I'm not coming back with this for my niece.
Yes, please. Like, I mean, it's
yeah.
No, I was about to say it's been such a journey just trying to get, just trying to do everything properly, do it right. I mean, even just editing the book, my goodness. Editors, wow, I have newfound respect, So it's all done with love. Even the little ribbons, oh my gosh, like so much has been poured into it. But yeah. Whatever you get, whatever you receive, you will absolutely appreciate. I'm very sure of it.
Yeah, super. And it feels, I can connect with this easily because then, I mean, that this is for you. Like, this is for us, the Africans. This is our air. This is what it looks like.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
There's so much. If you relax it to look somewhere or the other, well, that's your decision. But this is who we are at our core naturally. And I think that should be celebrated. I know it's painful to comb. I cry when I comb my.
But you know what? So I mean, my hair is in locks now. But before it locked with my afro, I found if you comb your hair quite regularly, it becomes easier to comb. So not like once in a while, like once a week. And I'm only saying that because it does take a while to take care of your hair. I mean, even with this, like it is what it is. It is what it is. If you've got some sort of curly hair in there, like it is what it is. It's gonna take you a good 3 hours minimum to half a day to a full day to take care of your hair. But I feel like, and this is what I learned from the first project about hair, that you taking care of your hair is a form of self-love, You embracing your hair also is a form of self-love. And I feel like it's so, and even that psychologically is so affirming because you're not always trying to do something extra or something other
Exactly.
to look good or to
Yeah.
feel okay. I mean, I remember being asked a question: when do you feel most like yourself, or when do you feel or the least unsure of yourself? And I remember saying it's when I have like extra hair on, be it like a wig or whatnot, because I'm always wondering, is it the right one? Could have gotten a better one. Could have, but when I'm just myself, like when I just had my afro or when I'm just wearing my hair as it is, I'm like, that's one less thing to worry about. I'm like, just like, well, this is me. And I feel like I'm showing up authentically in the world, you know? Yeah, I'm just like, I'm showing up as Yolanda, and I'm not trying to convince people that I am beautiful, that I'm worth, their attention or whatnot. I can just show up as myself and kind of led by my spirit, my words, however it is that I enter the room, be what speaks for me, over and above just what I look like. And I think I've had so many people, even when I had my afro, come up to me and say the most interesting things. Some people almost say it like, wow, you're so confident the way that you wear your hair like that. Almost like they wish they could also kind of let go of whatever, is keeping them from just being who they are. But I also think it's, if you don't feel you look good, if you have believed all of these things that you've seen in the media, all of the shows that you've watched, where everyone has these gorgeous wigs. I mean, some of those wigs are impressive. But or you look at these award shows, and everyone has these wigs or the straight hair, and you don't really see any representation of what you look like and what you have. And I mean, this has been talked about a lot, like diversity and inclusion. This has been the buzzword for quite a while, stemming from, not stemming from the events that happened in the US, but I feel like that made it go, wow, that blew it up quite a bit the world over. It really just shone a light on it quite a bit. But it's still conversations that need to happen. Because it needs to start at home, It needs to start at home with a mom or dad talking to daughter saying, no, your hair is great like that. Oh, you want to wear a pony to school? Well, honey, your hair can't make a pony today. Maybe in a few months it'll make a pony, but not today. And that's okay. You don't need to have a ponytail. You know what I mean? Because she's these ponytails everywhere. She sees ponytails everywhere. Of course the kid wants a ponytail, but the hair doesn't allow. So what's supposed to happen, So like things like that, like there's so many just things. I mean, I remember driving past back home, and I was looking at all the ads, especially in the center of Joburg, that's really like beautiful and yarny, and it's supposed to be rich and wealthy. And not a single perfume ad had a person of color on it. And I was like, wow, are there like no perfume brands that want like some sort of, person of color who has, their afro on, or some sort of like, natural hairstyle? And I was just like, that's still what we're battling with. And again, this is why it's so important with what you said in the beginning about just the concept of the whole summit, conference, I don't know what you call it, or exchange. Why it's important to get media makers and kind of IP owners to think about these things, like how are you making things that really have impact, or things that make people look at themselves or think differently, So yeah, I think all of those things are important.
Super, super. To me, Rapulani is a love letter to everyone who loves natural hair.
Yes. Oh, I love that. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we've had quite an interesting conversation. I don't see any comments here, but of course this video is going to be available to everyone, and we're definitely going to promote this video months after, weeks after. We'll break down shots and all, because this is something we need more people to hear about, really.
Yeah.
So if people want to work with you, or I guess before that, what are we expecting from Rapulani, and how do people, I'm sure most people might want to know how to get across to the brand, maybe to partner or to make purchase or something. Yeah. So what are we expecting, and how can people reach out to you easily?
So, I mean, if I'm trying to cook things up, I am trying to see if trying to work on some bigger Rapulani-esque projects, and more collaborations are on the pipeline. Definitely more collaborations. Absolutely all for that. And hopefully more collaborations on the gaming side as well. And hopefully one day you'll see a fully fledged game. Yeah, hopefully one day you'll see a fully fledged game. I think it's going to be super, super cool. Still for a young audience, but still something fun to play. Even for moms and, you know, dads with their kids, or nephews, aunties, you know, uncles. And then Rapulani has a few friends also, you know, who will come along the journey and walk with her. So yeah, that's kind of in the pipeline. It takes a bit of a while, but we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get the funding, the audience, and to work with us. I mean, you can go to our Instagram page, drop us a DM there. Or you can even email us at rapulani@1000-hugs.com. You're more than welcome to drop us an email there with whatever ideas that you have. Yeah, we'll take it from there.
Okay, then. Thank you so much for taking our time to speak with me. This was really lovely, and I really enjoyed this session. Thanks for making it fun as well.
Thank you, Michael, for also asking the relevant questions, and thank you for the spotlight. I really made me think. Made me think about a lot of things as well. And this was great. Thank you. And thank you for everyone watching.
Yeah, thanks to everyone watching. To have a lovely evening. Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. And yeah, that was Rapulani. That was Yolanda talking to us about the project Rapulani. And yeah, it's really something beautiful. I think it's very important for us to represent ourselves properly, for us to feel comfortable in our own skin. And yeah, what can I say? The black hair is unique, it's different. And I think there needs to be more representation of that in mainstream media. And if that's not happening, it's up to us creatives to also do that. And that's what Yolanda has done. The project is really amazing. You can check their website. You can follow them on Instagram and all the social media, on their social media handles, and reach out to them. If you want to get the bags, if you want to support their project, please do reach out. We love projects like this, and we need more projects like this. And to get projects like this going, we need your support as a customer, as a partner, as a collaborator. So to leave you with this session, I would play the last video of the 3 I compiled, and we'll call it a day. So please do enjoy. Yeah.
From the animated book, Rapulani, comes a new game centered around the girl with a magical afro. Raps is an episodic 2D dress-up game with a narrative twist about Rapulani, the girl with the big hair and big problems. The player has to take Rapulani through her day filled with interesting obstacles and, of course, hair problems to get to her end goal, a friend's party.
Fantastic!
Okay then. I hope you all loved that. Please follow the project, support them, reach out to Yolanda on LinkedIn, across all social media. And with that, do have a lovely evening. Bye.